Good evening, all. Thanks to Govind sir to give me a chance to express my thoughts over this topic. Actually, I am stuck somewhere in my native place, so the background is not good, but there is a realistic background. So today, my topic is intelligence and human rights in an era of global terrorism, and this is a very relevant issue right now. Human rights is also a very important thing. So let's start my concern with this topic. The terrorism and human rights are interlinked subjects. One cannot discuss terrorism without discussing human rights. With the advancement that the human race has technology like never before at service today. In this topic, the concerns are very wide and all spread for the generations to come, and in this topic we can cover and the concern for this topic is the how has terrorism changed in present perspective, what faces does terrorism we have, global distribution of terrorism, the deaths from the terrorism, and the how have the trends changed in present day, and the most important thing, the data, the social networking data, how the important is the data, and how the data is directly linked with that terrorist, and some more topic we cover in this topic. So when I start this topic, I just make a background about the terrorism or the intelligence or the human rights. The post-World War II scenario, we saw frequent changes in the political opinions and humanitarian concerns. The interest of the global leaders on no one side influenced and the intellectual warfare over the resources on one hand, and its newly developed phase in the form of the evolving terrorism, time and on situations of the self-doubt and the questions over the concerns over the development versus human rights have been posed before the mankind, presenting an ever-expanding domain of terrorism and an evolving correlation to the definition. So this topic actually this topic brings in the concern of the terrorism in different lights and address of the growing impact on the society, and that is unknowingly surfing terrorism in many years. So before I start my conversation with all of you, I will just elaborate about the human rights. What are the human rights? We are talking about the human rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations in 1942 forms the single most document defining international human rights, and also the Article 30, and make the every details that embodies the right to the defining human actions, and also the third Geneva Convention discuss the issue of treatment of prisoner of war known as POW. The ethical treatment of prisoners of war is the touchstone for the international human rights issues. In light of the present subject in this discussion of the situation of war is different from of the conventional understanding of war between two countries. Terrorism, no one hand, infringes the human rights of the individual who are victimized and on the other hand creates a question on the rights of those who are suspected to be involved as unlawful combinants. Fact sheets of the United Nations High Commissioner of the Human Rights discuss on the human rights, terrorism and counter-terrorism, and states human rights are universal values of legal guarantees that protect individuals and groups against action and ominous primarily by the state agents that interfere with the fundamental freedom. Something missing happened. Okay, continue. The freedom, the entitlements, and human dignity. Uh, uh, the full spectrum of the human rights involve the respect for the protection of fulfillment of like the civil, cultural, economic, political, and social rights, as well as the rights to be development. Human rights are the universal, in my words, in the other words, they belong inherently to the human beings and are the independent and invisible. Now, I'm talking about the terrorism. What is the terrorism? According to the GTI 2018 codes, defining the terrorism is not a straightforwarding matter. There is no single internationally accepted definition of what constitutes terrorism and what is a terrorism. And the terrorism literate abound with the competing definition and typologies. Terrorism is an act of violence that targets civilian in the pursuit of the political or something ideological aims. On the other hand, the international interactions have not come down to any unmissably accepted definition of the terrorism, and comprehensively can encompass all sectionals, political, ideological, and any other kind of issues that create institutionalized and channelized crime and feeling of and mostly and the hatred towards human race by large. This has led to be a varied mannerism and addressing the terror factor, from state-sponsored terrorism, sponsored terrorism for the vested interest of the political institution or marginalized group, to cyber terrorism, which has no boundaries, no religions, no sect, or no face. Different areas of the world have named their local issues. Parenting of the human to human crisis, and with the difference human crisis with the difference name, just like the meiosis in India and Nepal is a framework of ideology affecting the social structure. Global terrorism index in 2000 India, where the India is placed in ranking 7. It means it shows that the vast majority of that in Indian subcontinental were a result of meiosis intervention. Now, how do the human rights and terrorism interlink with each other? I'm talking about the United Nations seats. In the same seats, the United Nations said the impact of the terrorism on human rights. The fact sheet states that the encroachment on human rights by the terrorist act have been recognized at the highest level of the United Nations. By the Secretary of the United Nations, I have a quote I want to share here. General Assembly of the former Commission of Human Rights and the new Human Rights Council 2008, they identified terrorism as an act that the threaten of dignity and security of human beings everywhere, angers to the takes the innocent lives, create an environment that destroy the freedom from fear of the people, jeopardize the fundamental freedoms, and aims at the destruction of human rights, and has any adverse effect on the establishment of the rule of law, undermines pluralistic civil society, aims to at the destruction of the democratic base of societies, and destabilize the legitimately constituted government, and many more things in this section. So and now very most important thing in this conversation is a youth, how to youth and terrorists are interrelated. As few days I read so many articles about the youth and terrorism interlinking interconnections. The government data is also said it's I share some data with the last few years. In 2015, 66 Kashmiri youth joined terror groups, and the 2016 is the 88, 126 in 2017, and so far 2018 is a 45 youth in Kashmir have joined the terror groups. Extent is a psychological professor teaching in Kashmir University was merely 32 when he got killed in the Sofian attack in 2018. Another young Kashmiri name is Nasir Ahmad Pandit, who work as a police constable, suddenly vanished and turned as a terrorist. These and many more have been the limelight news headline, the almost all leading newspaper, televisions, and social media also. The big common concern in the manipulation of the youth to the purpose of terrorism, not just the youth that is educated and well equipped with the technology and eager to be employed. From the I have one more paper I want to quote here. The Georgetown University, from the Georgetown University, something name is Senan Flower. Her study that the connection between the youth unemployment and unemployment and terrorism. The study discussed the period from the 2000 to 2009, wherein the world was hit by the Great Recession, and the same time and observe the technical education and development is seen in and around the world. The study established a connection between the youth unemployment and terrorism, suggesting that in youth unemployment could be sustainably worked on, it can result in a significant decrease in the participation in terrorist activities. And of course, a positive relation is established through the some presence of terrorist acts between the higher education and involvement of youth as a terrorist activities. And I want to quote one more paper here, is a paper from the Kritika Bhatia, the Global Economy and Development at Brookings. The paper attempts to bring the forth of the connection between the education level and the terrorism, with a special reference to the 8 Arab countries taken in the study. It states that lack of educate employment opportunities for the educated individuals is fulfilling support for the violent extremes among generation populations. The view is is also supported by the some of the analysis data related with the related to the desk foreign recruiters somewhere in recruits. I have one more report in 2016 released by a combined terrorism center known as CETC, proofs analysis of 4,600 this is foreign fighters from the Islamic State, and in their personal records. The data reveals that the fighter were the relative well educated when compared to education level in their home countries, but most previously held low skilled positions. The we can summarize this is that the employment and underemployment educated individuals were more likely to support violent extremes, with the unemployed secondary educated people having the highest probability for the followed by the tertiary educated unemployment or underemployment. Now, one more thing, that the base of terrorism is spreading speedily. The base in this firstly spread the terrorism is a dark net. So we can discuss about the dark net and terrorism. In this era, we have a more improved, more advanced in technology, and the technological advancement and added feature of internet has become part of parcel of man's routine life. While this widely talked about World Wide Web has attractive feature of the surface web, there is a huge component of deep net which is expected to be more than 400-500 times massive compared from the 90s, compared from the surface web. Through the internet and its components become useful from 90s. The aspects of the deep net are a recent development. Not only does this dark net provide an extra space to those who intensely wish to be a part of the secret code or maintain of their actions, it also propagate a molecule zone of interactivity for the terrorism to flourish. Darknet has been associated closely with the episodes of WikiLeaks and concept of the Bitcoin. We know the GICQ is a full form of this is a British intelligence organization. Government is communication headquarter. British intelligence organization, government communication headquarter, GCHQ. Former head Robert Hannigan spoke somewhere about the how ISIS terrorists in Syria had embraced the wave, explaining how the terrorists had used the encrypted tool to hide their identities. These encryptions tool entirely were exclusively available to government agencies. And this report by the Wilson Center reveals that the name is Wilson, reveals that the National Security Agency intercepted encrypted communication between two important leaders of Al Qaeda, and that the two had been in this form of communication for a decade. The terrorist organization had made use of darknet for the many purpose. First of the most important reason to use the darknet is a place to hide. We can't access the darknet. You know, the darknet is a parallel line under the normal internet connections. In our normal internet connection, we have some IP address with the 3333 and the 9 series, the IP addresses. But in the dark net is we have not identified the actual IP address, where is the source and where is the matters come out. And the normal suffering browsers, we can't access in a normal, with the normal browsers to darknet. We are terrorists using a different type of browser. For that is known as the onion routers. So the different things. So the second thing for the using the dark web is the place for the hide, and the second thing is for the recruitment. Surface web actually is the surface web provide the entire entitled place to identify the right candidate and to be initiative or the entitled for the interactions, for an interactions. The date of the further process, the details of the further process, however, shared through the use of the dark net, because of it is an end-to-end encrypted. Apps is purely designed for the confidently in data transmission. The transmission and are a handy tool for the terrorists who provide the instruction on the use of the dark net sites and content, and to the recruits from a great distance. In India, last few years in India, from the Kerala, Maharashtra, and some more places from the south in Jammu Kashmir, so many youth are directly connected with the IS and some more terrorist groups because of darknet. You can do anything. You can do anything under the dark nets. You can order for the you can give the suparis to someone. You can order some drugs, and this is all another secret, in a secret way. The next way for the using the darknet for the propaganda. But the terrorists, as terrorist literature and content once removed from the surface net, you can easily find these all literature, all content, all material, all posters, all those things placed in the dark net, where the ideas of the extremisms and radicalizations are profusely calculated. And these ensure that the identity of the terrorist organizations in maintained, and that their ideals find places for the propagations. And the most important thing for the using the darknet is the finance. Virtual currencies like Bitcoin are used for fundraising. Darknet provides an easy way to conceal the transactions of cryptocurrency that maintains anonymity of the transactions. I want to mention one more report here. The Wilson Center report, the mention of these things, the terrorism, the being is the terrorism research and analysis. They said the huge number of terrorist organizations, exclude the Al-Qaeda and IS make extensive use of Telegram app, and the same has been accepted by by the CEO of company, CEO of a company is the name Pavel Drob, 2015. No doubt, in the present light of the affairs, is not just the communication part of that is worrisome, but a much larger issue of the vital currencies. Now, during the COVID-19 lockdown, they are some of group are using WhatsApp also to demanding a money. They send just normal link in your WhatsApp number, and to be call you to open to this. When you open this link, your number is going to be viral. Now I'm talking about the intelligence, most important thing in this presentation, this conversation. With the security and intelligence getting a large dependency on the technology, the decoding the inscriptions in the mundane affair of a security, personal involvement in intelligence. But the key of the ciphering that the concerning is that that is called the power of ciphers. The power of ciphers is the protects the citizen when they read bank and shop online. I put a video on this link after this presentation. You will definitely, you all, I request you to watch the video and see the how the terrorists and other group are using our information when we throw our air tickets, and we want to some photocopies of our documents like passport, ID card, Aadhaar card. So how they use the must see, please see this. So I'm talking about the ciphers, and with the historic episode of intelligence failure like Pearl Harbor and 9/11 or 9/11, all have been pointing a big hat-trick question, a huge damage of compromised securities. Globalization of intelligence is a subject, is still a discussion. The Mumbai 26/11 terrorist case, claiming the lives of many, is an example of mishandling intelligence. It has been established that the Indian intelligence officials received prior warnings both from their own resources and from the United States that a major attack was probable. But the lack of the specificity and uncertainty about the threat window seems to have been prevented specific response. And the lesson from the Mumbai research was published by the R&D Corporation Studies, expert of the 26/11 Mumbai blast, on which is conspired to cause sea route, the planning and the precision with which the attack was placed reflects through mental, physical patient for the serious like the serious appears to have a question on role of the intelligence. And in this research, so many things you can read. It is available on net. It's so many very interesting things available in this research. And after RA and AW, some colleagues RA and AW also, and IB Intelligence Bureau also said that. So now I'm going for the conclude this conversation is the developments to have the contributed to the milestone that human race has achieved have not come without their darker side. The technology of automation that has created growth in science has created unemployment, as observed with the data in fight. The intenses in terrorism are forced to a great deal to be development in communication science, while it is a safeguard the interest of the few in the presents a big chunk of population at risk by the presenting a wide array of details in the dark web, and so many things. So the most important thing that we can save our online posting. We are very careful to update our personal things like that. Thank you very much. How can I stop this? So, any questions from here? Please also explain human rights versus terrorism. Okay. Okay. So thank you all. So the human rights and terrorism, I already said the human rights and terrorism. What is a human rights and how is affected for the with terrorism? Actually, Ramashankar Singh ji. Actually, the actual definition of human rights is according to the United Nations. Everything is is a terrorist affect you by anything, your freedom, your movement, your identity theft, your personal things like your date of birth, your traveling, your food habit, even the food habit, something that is also a part of the terrorism activity. So other one. Okay, now I'm ending this video. Thank you very much. Thank you, Govind sir, once again. Thank you, give me this chance. Oh, what is a dark net? Actually, sir, dark net is a parallel line with the internet. I said ki the internet, we use the internet is have some IP addresses, some locations, some of the origin source, but the dark net, no IP addresses. We can't access in normal browser. We can't access her origin source. Even we can't use our virtual money in darknet also. Most important things, darknet have a no IP address. Darknet have a no origin of source. Where the Osama bin Laden have posted their videos, even the American agencies maybe not find out the where is Osama bin Laden, but he continuously posted his video because of the darknet. And you can order anything on the darknet. You can access the darknet with the Onion router. It's Onion. Why it's called known as Onion router? Because they have so many layers. You can just find out the one IP address. You suddenly found the other one, then other one, then other one. It's just like the many, just like the Onion. You can access darknet through the Onion router, but carefully you don't install any Onion router in your laptop. Otherwise, your all information goes to terrorists. Okay, it was a very nice session. Any more question? So I put a video. Please आप देखिए उस वीडियो को, हाउ दे यूज़ अवर इंफॉर्मेशन. हम कैसे अपने फ़्लाइट को, टिकट्स को और डाटास को और सर्टिफिकेट्स को वो यूज़ करते हैं. इज़ अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो. आई पोस्टेड हियर. Okay, let's finish, sir, this one. Thank you. Good evening to all.